Good evening, Juco Editz family, and welcome to Season 4, Episode 14 of the Juco Editz podcast. Tonight, I'm going to be joined by St. Louis Cardinals minor league pitcher Jacob Odle. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you, Ed, and I really appreciate you having me on here.
Most definitely, man. Thank you for taking the time out of your night, and I really appreciate it. Okay, so Jacob, how we're going to start off the podcast tonight is we are going to talk about your time at St. Augustine High School. And first, let's start with your junior year.
All right, that was COVID year, right? Yeah,
Yes.
that was 2020. Yeah, that was a really weird year. We just came off of a really decent sophomore campaign, and it was probably one of the better teams that school has put together that junior year. Got cut short by COVID. I think we were like 7-0 or 7-0-1 or something. It was my first year actually being a starter. Kind of struggled a little bit. Wasn't really throwing that hard, but I was just a big, lanky kid that just kind of found his way in there, throwing basically sidearm. But yeah, I mean that's a crazy year. I always forget about that year. It feels like forever ago.
Okay, and then now let's go on to your senior year.
Senior year. So let's go into the summer before that.
Okay.
Played a little bit of travel ball. I was with Trotsky, and basically kind of worked my way into some opportunities with them with John Lukens, and getting an opportunity to play for their bigger club and pitch in the bigger tournaments in like Arizona and stuff. I was throwing well enough to get some interest from UC Irvine, which was where I committed in the fall of my senior year. And then my senior year happened and I wasn't too great, but everybody kind of goes through rough patches and stuff. But yeah, I mean, it was I think I was like maybe barely above average my senior year. Not a whole lot of velocity, not a whole lot going on, just kind of there.
I gotcha. So next, talk to me about your time at UC Irvine.
Oh, this one's gonna be easy. So my freshman year of college
Hmm.
at UCI was definitely an experience. I went in there not really sure what I was like looking forward to, what was gonna happen. I get there my freshman year, and the first like two live ABs that I did were great. Like I felt great. Like the velocity was like okay. I was like 88 to like 91. Kind of throwing strikes, kind of not, but like kind of working. And then like fall off the rails, like
Yeah.
instant plummet. Velo drops. It was like 84 to 87 at one point. Had no idea where the ball was going. I was running miles after practices because I was walking too many guys, and then just yeah, and I just had a hard time with figuring out who I was and what I wanted to do. And we get into season, and like my parents are coming to every game, so I'm no feel moment out of me, by the way, but I'm going up to the manager who's still Ben Orloff at the time, and I'm just like, is there a chance I pitch today? Like what's going on here? And I didn't know any better. I was also 17 going into my freshman year, which I'm not trying to make an excuse out of it, but I wasn't the smartest kid. Um, so then like couple weeks go by, I didn't make travel, and I spent a lot of time back home in San Diego because I would drive down on the weekends. We weren't at home, and just started working on stuff, trying to get a little bit better. And then once I started like hyper focusing on my performance and trying to get better, like my weight room numbers went up, my velocity slowly started ticking up, and like I could see a trend, but that trend came way too late. And by then, we had maybe 5 weeks left in the season. And like, even if I was like dominating live at bats, which I wasn't, but I was still throwing like harder ish. I think I like that year I got up to like 92 or 93. And like the trending was good, but
Yeah.
the everything else before that was not. So it didn't really, I don't want to say I gave them an easy decision, but I didn't make it hard for them to keep me around. So the spring exit meetings happened. It kind of caught me by surprise because I didn't really know any better. But now that I look back on it, it makes a lot of sense. And I'm grateful for it because it set me up with better opportunities. But they let me go. Um, told me that they thought it would be a good option for me to go to a junior college and kind of figure it out, learn a little bit more about myself. So I ended up playing my summer in Florida,
Okay.
which was that was an experience. I was furthest way I've ever been from home. Was homesick, like had no idea what I was doing. Like I literally was just like asking to be put in games just so I could just throw the baseball as hard as I possibly could and just see what happened. And it was like the very beginning, I was just like walking a bunch of guys, like no idea where the ball is going, but I'm throwing hard, so it's
Yeah.
fun. And then basically get to a point where it's like the head coach for that team, for the West Palm Beach Knights, was Sam Martin, and he kind of sat me down and he was like, "What are you doing? Like what is going on in your head? Like what can possibly be going on in your head?" And I'm like, "I have no idea. Like I'm literally just like getting on the mountain. I'm just trying to throw as hard as I can." And so we had a couple talks, and then towards the end of the year, I kind of started figuring it out a little better. Like was throwing a little more strikes, like everything was moving a little better, and then um, we end up losing like basically the entire team right before playoffs.
Oh,
Like everybody was just like quitting, and so I end up getting a start right before I go home, and it wasn't anything crazy. I think I went like 3 innings, but it was like, okay, like there's something here that we can kind of build off of. And then after that, I end up going to play in Menlo Park for the Legends,
okay.
who are
Yeah.
now yeah. So I played for them under David Klein, and that was when I kind of like wheels are turning. Like I can be really good at this. I think there was like 6 innings in a row where 6 different appearances where I just didn't give up a hit. Like my whip was probably still like a 1.5 because I was walking guys, but I wasn't giving up hits. Like nobody was touching the ball, and that's like when I realized like okay, like I'm pretty good at this. Like I can kind of build off of this. And then one of my really good buddies, Ari, um, was going to a junior college in Orange County. So
Yep.
I I reached out to him and I was like, look, like, you really like this place? Like, tell me about it. Cause I've known him since I think I was 8, he was 7. Like, I've known him forever. And he's from Vegas. So he was going to come out of state to go to the school in Orange County. And we basically just had like a short little conversation. His dad's my agent too, which
Oh,
is
okay.
a
Nice. Yeah.
turnaround story. But we talked about it and just like kind of came to the conclusion, like, he really liked this place. He thought I would really like it. So I went to visit the school as soon as I got home from Menlo. Had a talk with the head coach, and we were just like, yeah, like let's get this done. Like let's dial it in. So, and that's how I got to OCC.
Okay. So at your time at Orange Coast, you pitched, it says on your bio, 13 appearances. You had 2 wins, 3 losses. You had a 6.91 ERA, 22 strikeouts. There's a couple games I want you to talk to me about. The first one, El Camino.
That was the season opener, right, for
Yep.
The El Camino Cup or the
Yep.
Memorial Cup. And that's for the late head coach at OCC, John Altobelli. That was my first collegiate inning. Like I was fired up. Like I had a really good fall going into it. Like I think I was up to like 96 in the fall. Like just starting
Dang.
to figure out things were turning. Things were
Yeah.
turning. Like I was getting somewhere. And I remember like sitting in the bullpen, and I'm just like, man, like the only chance I come to this game is if it gets close. And we were up by like 4 in the 6th inning. So I was like, the chances of me pitching this game aren't super high right now, because they're gonna try to get other guys some looks and all that. And then somehow like 3 runs get scored. It's a 1-run ball game. And I remember warming up for that, and I was like, oh my gosh, like I'm actually about to pitch in like a real game that like actually matters. And that isn't just summer ball. Don't get me wrong, like summer ball matters to an extent,
Right.
but you're when you're pitching for your school, it's a little different of a feeling. So I remember that, and I still have the videos on my phone from that outing, every pitch. Um, and I just remember like everything I threw, like I could feel everything, and it was just like bang, 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 bang. Um, and I think I had 1 strikeout, a fly out, and a ground out with a walk. I think that's the line. No runs. It was my first save. I think I was like 4 to 5 that outing. Just everything felt really good. But yeah, that was definitely a memorable one for me because that was like first taste of collegiate action and just like I actually did something good.
Yeah. Okay, this next one, Golden West.
Ooh, G Dub, that was like
Yep.
midway through the year. I think I threw like 2 innings that
Yep.
outing. Is that about right?
Yep.
Yeah, that one. So that's actually really funny. That's got a funny context behind it. So before I even got into the game, um, it was a close game basically the entire way through. I think we were in like the 6th inning, I think 5th or 6th inning, and supposedly this is what we were told, but we kind of doubt it. There's like a car shop behind, like right next to the field, and apparently like they were making ruckus or something, but it sounded like gunshots. So everybody on the field like scrambled. Like I think my teammates, I think there's like 4 of us, including me. We were sprinting, dead sprinting in our cleats, and we ended
Mm.
up in a neighborhood like 2 blocks down. And none of us had our phones on us, so we're just like, "Do we go back? Like, what's the deal here?" And um, so that whole thing stopped. Like, it's like an hour pause in the game.
Yeah.
And then we get back, and like we're all like really tentative, like what's going on, like what just happened. And then they decide like, yeah, like we're gonna keep playing. So we end up keep playing. And if I recall correctly, that outing, I think I got the loss in that, or no decision. Maybe I got the loss. Yeah, that was. I think I gave up 1 run, maybe 2, maybe 3. The only thing I remember is that was the first time I hit 98 in game.
Dang.
Um, yeah, it was like I don't know where it came from. It just was throwing really hard. So that was a big stepping stone for me because that's when I was like consistently like throwing really hard, like stuff was moving, and I was like, okay, like we can do this. And that was a big turning point for me because I think that game was right after Irvine Valley when I like actually had my first clean inning of the year where I didn't give up any base runners. Um, so yeah,
Okay, this
crazy.
next one, Cyprus.
Was this the game 1 or game 3?
Game 3.
Game 3. Oh, this is my 3 inning appearance in
Yep.
extras. Yeah. So at this point of the year, I had already lost the closing job because just couldn't save games. So then I started working my way back into that role towards the end of the year as the outings were getting better. And in game 1, I pitched against Cyprus. I got the loss, but I gave up like 1 hit, and it was just like I went 2 innings. It was the longest I had gone in relief the entire year. And then I didn't play in the midweek against Cyprus. And then game 3, um, we're, I think we were up by 4 going into the ninth. And then the guy in front of me gave up a grand slam to tie the game. And he gets out of it. So then they go to me for extras. And I felt electric. Like I was in the bullpen. I was grunting in the bullpen. That's how good it felt. And I come out in like 1, 2, 3. And I was like, okay, that felt good, but I got to do it again because I couldn't do it the first time against Cyprus. So I come back out 1, 2, 3. And I was like, damn, this feels good. And then I go sit down and I'm like, I have no idea what to do with myself. Like I'm still in the game for some reason. And we score a run. And I just remember like all of us being super hyped up because this game was important for us, like for playoffs.
Yeah.
And I, and Nate Johnson, my head coach at OCC, and Brandon Maurer, who was the pitching coach at the time, they kind of both look at me like I'm crazy because I'm like bouncing off the walls in the dugout. And then Brandon comes over and talks to me. He's like, "Look, dude, I know this is a lot of fun and like you're super amped up, but you gotta chill out. Like you have way too much energy right now." So then, uh, that half inning ends. I'm back out there and they're playing Welcome to the Jungle on the speakers, and I'm just like, I'm feeling it. I gave up what was it? I gave up a bloop hit to like on the right field line in like no man's land. I think I have the stats on it. It was like 68 off the bat. It was like barely hit it. Um, I didn't punch out anybody in the third inning. I punched out two in the each in the first two innings to give me four. But I ended up getting two outs, and then the last hitter, it was a fastball up, and I thought he got it. Like I thought it was gone. I thought I was about to get walked off again. And Seabass, who was our center fielder, runs into the wall to make the catch, and it was like I just got a 3 inning save or a 3 inning win. I didn't even get a save. I got a win, and like that was really cool, and it was like really big for us going into playoffs. And then playoffs happened. We played College of the Canyons, and we just kind of like couldn't put the bats together. And when we put the bats together, pitching didn't show up. So it wasn't playing much like a team, but it was a great year. It was a great way to end the year, I'll say.
Right. So Jacob, I do want to go back to that though. College of the Canyons, with that being your last JUCO game, what was that like at that moment? Did you know like that was your final JUCO game, or were you just thinking, well, this is just another just playoff game, you know?
Well, so I came into that game pretty early. I think I came in like the fourth inning or something. Um, and I gave up a bomb. I mean, I was throwing two pitches. Like you were either getting a fastball or you're getting a curveball. It's like if you're a good enough hitter, like you're just going to be able to see it out of my hand and be able to do something with it. So I got taken yard. That kind of sucked. But I wasn't. I honestly had no idea. Like I was at such a point in my college career where I had no idea what my next step was. Like I didn't know if I was going to go back to OCC. I didn't know if I was going to try to go D1. I didn't know if the draft was even an option at this point. So I was like, I was very much flying by the seat of my pants.
Okay. So after that, though, the draft rolls around, right? So during that time, what were you hearing before ultimately being taken in round 14, pick 425 by the St. Louis Cardinals?
Um, well, a lot happened up to that, like in between my last outing in college, and then into the draft,
Okay.
because I had the entire summer where I played in the draft league.
Right.
And like that might have been like my best summer of baseball that I've ever played since I was like 12. I think I'm trying to remember the numbers off the top of my head. I had like a 2 something ERA in the draft league with like a 1-2 whip or something. I think I think on paper, because they didn't count the extra innings that I pitched. I think I was like 12 or 12 and a third innings with 29 strikeouts,
Okay.
something like that.
Yeah.
And I was like up to 99. Like I think I had the second hardest fastball that year, behind Chen Wei Lin, who is now a teammate of mine.
Dang. Okay.
Uh, but I think me kind of doing that over the summer, velo jumping or not jumping, but velo
Yeah.
like staying steady, increasing a little bit. The off speed production was getting there. I added a cutter. Um, I think that kind of like paved the way for me to get like, bigger looks. Like I was talking to Texas, South Carolina, UCLA, Miami, Texas State, Texas A&M, USC, like a bunch of these big schools that,
Yeah.
had no idea who I was like, 3 years prior when I was in high school. But it was really cool getting that CI experience. Oh, Oklahoma, because they
Yep.
wanted me to go on a visit right after the draft league. But I think that kind of put me on the map of like, okay, like this guy is like, he throws pretty hard. He's got decent off speed. Like he's also 19 going into his junior year. Like,
Yeah.
so it's like, like let's take a look at this. And so fast forward, getting ready for the draft, right? I only did two on-field workouts. I did a workout with the Yankees,
Okay.
um, at a baseball facility in Irvine. But I did an on-field with the Braves, which was really cool. I threw really well. And then I did one with the Padres at Petco.
Ooh, okay.
and it was just me and a catcher and their entire front office, and that was a crazy experience for a guy who grew up going to all the Padre games. And
Yeah.
I pitched an empty Petco, and like everything echoes in there when there's nobody in there. So that was a crazy experience, and that was like 3 days before the draft. So that was super cool. But going back to what you said about about draft day,
Yeah.
um, had no idea. I had no idea what was going on. I was, you hear things from teams that you think are going to happen, and they don't happen, and then they keep like going back on their word. And um, so the craziest part is like all the other teams I had kind of talked to before, like, or at least they've talked to my agent.
Yeah.
Cardinals, out of nowhere. I talked to the scout pretty frequently, but the scout, Chris Rodriguez, um, was like, he came to a lot of my games, was super, super cool to me, like always talked to me, was like almost at all of my Juco games. It was crazy. And then I remember getting a call from my agent. This is like 10 minutes before the draft. And he was like, this is who we've got on day 3. Because we thought there was going to be a chance to go day 2, and there was, but then pieces fell. Other people were available.
Yeah.
That it happens. Stuff happens. So then we go into day 3, and Padres are looking like a like a talker, and out of nowhere, Cardinals swoop in, and we get something worked out like literally like that, and I get taken on the 14th.
Man,
It's,
that's
it's it's literally crazy. Like, it was surreal. And then seeing my name, because I was at the facility I trained with for the last
yeah.
like 3 years, and I was there, and they had it on the TV, and just like seeing my name on the draft tracker and seeing it on the TV was actually a surreal experience.
Okay, next, let's fast forward a little bit. Take me through spring training.
Oh, my first spring training in
Yes.
24.
Yep.
Yeah, that was an experience. Went into spring training, um, had no idea what I was doing. Like, I felt like I was all over the place, like not comfortable at all. Um, Threw a couple live at bats, wasn't feeling good, and then I popped. My first game of spring training, blew out, had a full UCL reconstruction a week later.
Oh,
Um, yeah, I had 3 things done. It was crazy.
man.
Uh, so I ended up going home before spring training even ended. Uh, Spent a month at home, and then made my way back to Florida for the regular season. But I was in rehab all year, so I didn't really get to do a whole lot.
Okay, then next, take me through rookie ball.
Dude, rookie ball is an experience. Rookie ball, especially in Florida, like that is an experience. That heat at 11 in the morning is not fun, but it is gritty. And um honestly, like, I had a blast playing in rookie ball this last year for the 4 appearances I did.
Yep.
um the guys were awesome, like almost like treated me like I was family. Like, they included me in everything. Like, they loved having me around. Like, I would take like 5 of them back in my car back to the hotel, like wherever we were staying. Like, it would be all Latin music in the car 24/7. Like, it was a blast. Like, it was so fun just hanging around them all the time. I made some really good friends on that team. Um, Great guys, a lot of great guys.
Okay, then now talk to me about single A.
Single A was a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun this year. I struggled though. Like, I struggled pretty bad. I had a hard time finding myself earlier in the year. I threw really well in the FCL. Besides my last outing where I kind of like gave up a couple really hard hit balls. Then I go into single A, thinking that it's going to be the same. Uh, Made that mistake real quick. It was like overthrown, trying to do too much, was overcompensating. Um, and just like really struggled in not only like physically but mentally. Like I was questioning myself like every start, like, what am I doing here? Like why am I doing this? Why am I doing that? Like trying to like change things to like see if it'll be better, if it'll be worse. And then I got I got yelled at by my father to kind of like, figure my stuff out.
Mm.
Like I'm here for a reason. I'm not just like some like random hillbilly they picked up off the streets, like just to fill in for a couple innings. Like,
Yeah.
I'm there to pitch. Like I'm there to do a job. And I had some other conversations with some people, some coaches, that opened my eyes a little more. And I think that really helped me kind of figure out like what I'm best at and how do I use that to better attack hitters and come up with better game plans. And I think a big turning point for me was right after the All-Star break, in that first start against St. Lucie where I didn't give up a hit. Um, I think that was like my turning point because like I felt way more confident in my stuff, my ability to attack hitters. Like I felt way better as a pitcher. Um, so I think if I could describe low A this year as a whole, I think it would be just growth
Okay.
as a person, as a pitcher, as a man, like just like in general, like I felt like I grew a lot in a bunch of different ways.
Okay, yeah. Because it says 2025, you pitched 17 games. You went 0-6 with a 5.92 ERA, 51.2 innings pitched, but 69 strikeouts.
Yeah, pretty good. I'd say that's pretty good. Um, yeah, I think I always love here. I don't want to say love, but it always makes me laugh hearing the loss column because I think I went into the fifth inning, I think like three times, maybe, I think twice, maybe three times. And like I couldn't even earn a win, but I'm getting losses like it's nobody's business. So I don't know. That's just it just makes me chuckle a little bit. But yeah, I mean, figured out some strikeout stuff later in the year. Like really just started punching tickets, and that's what I was talking about, where I felt more confident, and
Right.
you know that confidence kind of led to not like a little bit of a velo uptick, but more of in like a stuff uptick where I was spinning the ball a lot better. Like all my RPMs went up, my movement plots went up, like the shape of my fastball was getting back to what it was. My curveball was getting bigger but staying like the same velocity. My cutter was playing better to what I needed it to,
Gotcha.
not just
Yeah.
metrically, but like to my arsenal. My sinker was actually like kind of like sinking a little bit, which was like a cool change. And then my changeup development, because it was a brand new pitch for me last year, was actually starting to get somewhere, and we were playing around with it, throwing it right on right. Sometimes we were just having fun with it. So
Okay, now talk to me. What was your welcome to JUCO and welcome to the minors story?
my welcome to JUCO story. Oh man, um, that's kind of hard because we had some characters. We had a lot of characters at JUCO. Um, like OCC, I'd say my welcome to JUCO moment at OCC was, um, no, I can't say that. Um, was I think, damn, I really don't know. I don't think I've ever been asked that. Like, because there's been some crazy stuff that had happened at these games, but
Yeah.
um, man, that's a really on like okay, like on an unserious note, like outside of baseball
Yeah.
for
That
the
works.
JUCO moment. Um, I think when we took our trip to Cuesta and we had like I think 12 of us went into like we got into like two separate Ubers to go into downtown San Luis Obispo, and they had like their farmers market going on, and we were just like rolling in a pack. And then at one point, like there was literally like we were all on one street corner going all the way down the street, just like trying to talk to each other, like for no reason. Like we were just doing stupid stuff. Like nothing that would get us in trouble, but just like who are these idiots and like what are they doing? It makes no sense. Like these guys don't belong here. But I wouldn't say like I'd say from a baseball perspective, I think my the welcome to JUCO moment was the bantering in live at bats in the fall
Okay.
with Christian Luna. Great kid, like was like my favorite bullpen catcher. Like, and I had live at bats against him pretty frequently. And I remember one time I gave up a hit to him, and he acted like he had like just won the World Series on one swing. Like it was the funniest thing ever, and I just like something about that just doesn't leave my memory because I like just love the kid. So I'd say that was my welcome to JUCO moment of just like, you know, like it's serious. Like JUCO baseball is very serious, but like me personally, I had a lot more fun like playing baseball
Yeah.
at OCC, and I think that's kind of like what separates my experience from OCC and UCI was like the little stuff like that of like I'm literally like on the mound laughing, and like everybody else is enjoying it, and I think that's something I never really had at UCI.
And then minors.
Ooh, like welcome to minor league baseball.
Yep.
This was a little later in the year, and it was this year. And actually, I'll give you two.
Okay, that's fine.
I'll give you two. I'll give you one from each year. So in 23, I pitched in 2 innings after the draft. And I think my welcome to minor league baseball was these like just no warm up, no nothing, like literally just get on the mound and go. And like here's 100 miles an hour, and I have no idea where it's like they had no idea where it's going, but here's 100. Like that was like in 23, that was my minor league moment. Like
Man.
where I've never seen this before in my life. Like where did this just come from? And then I'd say this last year, it would be on our way to Dunedin, and the bus popped a flat, like completely shredded off the wheel.
Oh,
Like I think, yeah, that would be my welcome to minor league baseball moment. And then we're all like getting crammed onto one bus together. That was fun.
okay. What about 5 a.m. JUCO stories?
We actually didn't have any. We didn't have any early practices like that.
Okay.
Everything we had was in the afternoon. Our weights were always after practice for some reason. So if you're looking for no 5 a.m. war stories, like go check out OCC because we never did that. But we did run a lot.
Okay.
We did run a lot.
What about favorite JUCO places to play and the minors?
All right. Favorite JUCO places to play? Um, I would say G Dub. So Golden West was a lot of fun because we packed house. Obviously, our home field at
Right.
Altobelli Park, it's all turf, and like we would get a lot of fans every game. Saddleback was a lot of fun to go play at.
Okay.
Southwestern was pretty cool. Um, but yeah, I think the first game against Cyprus of the year, I think that was my favorite game that I've played in at JUCO. And then minor league wise, I didn't get to travel to a whole lot of places because I joined Lowway halfway through the year. They had already kind of done most of their travel,
Okay.
uh, their overnight travel, I should say. St. Lucy's a lot of fun. They've got a really pretty park.
Yeah.
Uh, Daytona is gritty. That is an all turf baseball park in Florida heat, to where we literally
Man.
can't play a game before like 5:45. It is super hot. But I'm also going to say like playing against the Marlins just because we share the stadium.
Yeah.
I love the Dean. So yeah,
Okay. Toughest lineup faced in JUCO and the minors.
Toughest lineup facing JUCO is going to be either uh, Saddleback or College of the Canyons.
Okay.
And then in minor league ball, I did pretty good against the Mets most times. Marlins were okay. Dane was okay. Bradenton, I had a really good outing against. Um, Daytona, I did pretty good against each time I pitched against them. Um, I'm really maybe. Oh yeah, Lakeland.
Okay.
Lakeland, I think they had the best lineup that I had to go up against.
Okay, next one. What sport would you have played at JUCO if not baseball?
Um, I got asked to row a bunch just because I'm so tall.
Okay.
Um, I don't know if that's what I would have done, but I probably would have considered it a little bit. I think I definitely would have shot for basketball though.
Okay.
Um, but yeah, I mean, one of the two, I think. So I was never good at soccer. Not good at tennis. I've tried. I don't think OCC had a golf team. Um, I could have played volleyball. Maybe
Yeah.
I don't know. That would have been worth a shot. Um, but yeah, you know what? Volleyball or basketball, one of the two.
Okay, what was JUCO basketball like in California?
It's pretty competitive, I would say. Like it was. I wouldn't say it's like anything crazy, but it's competitive. I wouldn't say to the same extent that like baseball is.
Yeah,
But I would say we went to a lot of games. We had a lot of fun at those games. We did a lot of chirping.
I got you. And then football.
I think we went to one football game, and it was like a mandatory athletes football game. Like
Okay.
the entire like athletic community from OCC had to be there. But you know, like I was at UCI the year before, and they didn't even have a football team. So it's like
Oh, yeah, you're right.
not even like going from like a D1 school with a football team to So I wasn't really going to football games anyways. So we didn't really go to a whole lot. Um,
So what does your game day routine look like versus your daily routine?
Daily routine kind of depends on what I did the day prior. So uh, as a starter now, we kind of have our entire weeks kind of built out for us, like kind of already planned ahead, and then we kind of modify depending on how we're feeling that day. So I'll start with game day because we'll start that as day one. So game day in season was like more of like a ritual for me. It was kind of wake up, kind of just like hang around. This was in low A
Okay.
too. Um, so wake up, kind of hang around, eat some breakfast, kind of just try to chill out, like try to be as low energy as possible for the day, like relax on the couch a little bit, maybe go for a walk, you know, like get outside a little bit, and then I'd say around like 6:30 game time, try to be at the field at like 2:30. So probably like hopping in the shower like 1 o'clock, get clean, and then throw some wax in the mustache and get on my way out the door. And then get to the field, kind of hang out a little bit, make sure I don't got to take care of anything beforehand. Um, get to the field, make sure I got my Gatorades, and then we're in the clubhouse for a little bit, get changed, I throw on my pants before, um, like even when I go across, like to go do all my prep work, just so I don't have to like take off shorts, put pants back on. I want to get
Yeah.
comfortable in the pants.
Okay.
So I put the pants on for the day. Those things stay on and go across, kind of go through all my prep, go through my entire routine, um, do everything I need to. And then if I need to do a little extra, do a little extra, it just depends on how the body's feeling. Do my prep work with the trainer, to get my arm primed for the day. Then we'll go across. I'll have my pitcher catcher meeting with the pitching coach. That'll usually take like 5 minutes, 5-10 minutes. Just kind of go over like certain hitters. what we think we should do. What should the focus be for today? What do we want to work on? Like, we go through that. By that time, we're looking at about like 5:05, 5:10.
Okay.
Like, gives me 10 minutes to kind of do some breathing work in the locker room. Sometimes I do it, sometimes I don't. It just depends on kind of how on edge I feel. And then say about, we're talking 6:30 game time, where I'm out there at 5:30. I'd say 5:25, so I can like kind of walk around a little bit. I like to walk to the dugout, put my stuff down there, kind of get situated, and then I'll come back out, do a little bit of running, do some sprint work, get the body fired up. Say a prayer. Usually try to include my catcher in that.
Yeah.
And then from there, we just go, like, start playing catch. Get out to about 180. Do everything I need to in between my athletic throws, my jump throws, like, and then come in, do a flat ground, about 10 pitches, and then onto the mound, where we'll do about, I want to say, I think I did like at the beginning of the year, I think my first start, I think I threw like 28 pitches in the bullpen, which was ridiculous.
Oh, dang.
Yeah, way too much. So then we toned it down a lot. I think I was like anywhere between like 15 to 18 for the rest of the year after that, which definitely helped, just calming me down a little bit. So we did that. And then by then I try to time it just right to where I'm like, I got like 5 minutes until game time. So it gives me time to like walk down there, sit in the dugout for a second, kind of cool down a little bit, not a lot, just enough to like get my breathing back in order, and then kind of get the guys all riled up, and we go out for the national anthem, and then first pitch, and then Little Lies by Fleetwood Mac starts playing.
Oh, nice. All right. So this next one, what is something that you struggled on this season that you want to improve on going in 2026?
Command.
Command?
That's the
Okay.
easiest answer. Yeah, is I think the strike throwing ability was a little dicey this last year. It was really good at times, then other times it was not. So I think just getting a little more consistency in between starts, kind of knowing what I'm working on, what I want to be better at, and just kind of learning how to attack hitters a little better, learning how to use my misses to turn them into swing and misses. So,
What is your biggest source of motivation during challenging times?
um, shoot, I would say the fact that I know that I'm not in this alone. I think there were some times this year where I definitely felt alone, but there's always somebody to talk to,
Right.
no matter what. And I think my biggest source of motivation is just kind of like get through that was um, my late grandfather, Grandpa Walt. He was a big proponent in my belief in being good enough to pitch at a high level. He used to tell me when I was 8, he's like, "You're going to pitch for the San Diego Padres one day." Um, and although I don't play for the Padres, but just like even
Yeah.
being in professional baseball alone is a blessing. But I think someone else I turn to a lot, or no, I wouldn't say a lot because I haven't talked to him in a while, but someone who got me through a lot is my old coach, Coach Mike.
Okay.
Uh, Mike Sweeney. He was with the Royals for a
Oh,
long time.
yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, he's a big person in my life. Has really always been there for me, like baseball or spiritually,
Yeah.
like as a father figure. Like he's always been there. And then obviously my parents. Like I always go to my parents whenever I need anything. I'm very close with them. But just knowing that like I have such a strong support group around me of just like, if I really ever need something, I need something from them, like of just like support. I need love. I need, hey mom, can you can you ship my golf clubs out? Like I want to go golfing to kind of relax, and
Yeah.
like they'd be here in like 2 weeks. And it's just like knowing that I have people like that around me, just like that are willing to support me no matter what. And with every start, like my grandmother, not tech savvy at all, would find a way to watch all my games this year, which was a really cool thing to know. And then my niece and nephew would like beg to go home from school early to watch my games when I would pitch, and they'd have whole watch parties, and just hearing that and being told like how much they admire me and love watching me pitch. I think that kind of gets me through whatever hard time I'm going through, and just realizing that, you're doing this for yourself, right? But you're not doing it alone.
Right.
So I think that's kind of the way I look at things now, where it's just like hard times happen, and it's about how you navigate them and how you get through them, and how do you grow from them.
Exactly.
And I think just looking at all the people that support me and stuff that kind of just keep me pushing and just want me to be happy. I think that's what keeps me going.
Okay, this next one. What is one thing to expect on the JUCO level?
You need to be ready to work your tail off, because there are hungry dudes, and I've played with guys who came from the Division 1 level like I did, and they had it made, they highly touted guys out of high school, and there are some really good JUCO baseball players who just never had an opportunity to get looked at, that went on to play Division 1 baseball. It's like, because they finally got that opportunity, they finally got that look. And I think you can't just go in there expecting it to be it's just JUCO baseball, because it's not. It's not. You get
Yeah.
guys drafted out of JUCO every year. You get guys going to big D1 programs every year. Um, you can't judge a book based off its cover, right? And
Exactly.
especially in 3C2A. So in the OEC, the conference that I played in, I mean, man, that's about as good as that is as good as it gets on the West Coast. So I think going into that, and doing all the fall ball stuff we had, seeing how good some of these guys were, and it was eye opening. But it's you can't take that for granted, or the fact that you're in JUCO for granted, because there's some dogs. There
Yeah.
are dogs, and they are JUCO dogs for a reason. So you got to be ready to just outwork everybody, because at the end of the day, if you're outworking everybody on the field, it'll be really hard for someone to be better than you and to doubt your work ethic and your want to be there.
Yeah.
Um, I don't think you can do anything much better than that.
So with you playing at Orange Coast, there's two guys I want to ask you about if you know who they are. The first one is Kelly Austin, who was on my podcast. He plays for the New York Yankees minor league
Yeah,
organization.
yeah.
Yep.
He was there the year before I was.
Okay.
So I never got to meet him, but I know of him. We had a ton of mutual teammates, and then he went to UCLA
Yep.
for a year, and then he was committed to play at Florida.
Yep.
But then signed a free agent deal with the Yankees, and
Yep.
um, I've heard nothing but great things about that guy. So, I mean, that's really all I have to say. I've never really talked to him or hung around him, but I've heard nothing but great things.
And then the other one I want to ask you about, you might have heard of this guy, Chaz Martinez. He pitches in AAA for the Kansas City Royals minor league organization, Omaha Storm Chasers.
I don't think I do.
Okay.
I don't think I do. Um, no, that doesn't sound too familiar to me.
Okay. He's a little bit before your time because he went to OU and then he went to Orange Coast, then OU, then now he's with
That's
the Royals
drafted.
AAA. Yeah.
Okay.
So
Okay.
it
That
was a
makes
while
sense.
ago.
That explains why I don't really know him then.
Yeah. Okay, so this next one is, what is one thing you do to try to get out of a slump when you're pitching?
Oh, I mean, you got to change some things, but you can't change everything. I mean, I cut the mustache off this year, hoping that would fix it, and made it worse. Um, cut the flow off. I mean, I guess just cutting hair at this point is basically what I try to do to get out of the slump, but it never really works. I think changing up the routine a little bit. I was playing a lot of Fortnite Festival before start days and stuff.
Okay.
I don't know if that helped me or not, but it worked. So that kind of got me out of a slump. Yeah, I mean, playing a lot of 2K.
Yeah.
I don't know. There was I don't know if there was like a direct correlation, but I was just kind of doing whatever. I didn't really have like anything too set in stone day before. It was more just like get your sleep and try to recover, make yourself feel good. But I will say, most times, at least if we were home, I would eat lasagna the night before.
Okay.
So that was a thing. I made that a thing this year. It was a night before ritual.
What's the biggest thing you noticed transitioning from JUCO to the minors?
Um, there's a lot of talent everywhere. Um, but I think the biggest like change I've seen is like seeing all these guys come from different places, different schools, and them kind of trying to and then them learning how to play together versus at JUCO, like it was almost like synonymous all the time. Like just the chemistry that we had as a team. I think part of that is because nobody's really moving up and down. There's not like a whole lot of change to the roster. It's like it's pretty set in stone. But I think just the chemistry that we had as a team that year, um, I think that was like the biggest change I saw because like everybody's constantly moving in the minors. Like
Yeah.
nobody is like, or I guess like some people are like I was in one place all year, but like I wasn't with like the same team all year.
Yeah.
So it's like I think that was a big change for me. It's just like you're not around the same guys all the time, like I was at JUCO or at UCI or any other team before that.
What sacrifices have you had to make to pursue your athletic dreams?
The very little academic dreams that I had, um, mom still wants me to go to college, so I'll get back to it eventually. Probably thinking about next year, but um, I don't really know if I've had to like make. I wouldn't really call them sacrifices because
Okay.
like I'm not really like sacrificing anything for my career. Like I know what it is and I know what I'm doing. I know what I want. And I try not to put myself in a position where I feel like I have to get rid of something for my career. You
Gotcha.
know,
Hmm.
so I think I've done a really good job about that. And like for me personally, and like the way I feel, I don't feel like I've had to make sacrifices.
Okay.
But
What's it like playing in the minors?
it's a ball. Days are long, but it's a lot of fun. You learn how to find fun in the little things, like like the perfect sits or the bullpen banter, the clubhouse games. Like there's like little stuff that you just kind of like learn to like really really enjoy throughout the year. Um, and I would yeah, that's what I would say.
Okay. How do you handle and learn from criticism or constructive feedback?
Um, I don't know. I think like there's some people that'll just say like, hey, like block the haters out, but I really don't like maybe to them it's that easy, but you know, I criticism is always something that can be used in a somewhat positive manner, unless they're just calling you names and like disrespecting you as a person. But if it's like from a performance standpoint, it's like, what did I do wrong? Like, where can I go? And that's what we did a lot of this year in our post game meetings was like reflecting on what I thought I did really well and what I thought I didn't do. And I think I'm my biggest criticizer is like I'm so nitpicky about my ability to pitch and like
Mhm.
I'm very much a perfectionist and like I want everything to be perfect. So when I make a mistake, I get on myself about it because I don't think that should happen. But in reality, I think you can use criticism to a certain extent, especially when it's coming from yourself. But as long as you're not hating yourself,
Okay.
because I
Yeah.
think there's a fine line between criticizing your performance and hating your performance. Because if you hate what you did, then there's nothing positive you can take out of that to better affect you and to make you better for your next start or your next appearance.
Right.
Versus if you're critical about what you did, you can learn from that and then, fix those mistakes so that you're better for the next time out.
Okay. How do you stay mentally locked in?
that was something I struggled with a lot this year. Was I was overthinking. I was trying to do too much, and then um, I made a bet with my not even a bet because it wasn't even a bet. It was more like a how long can I hold a smile the entire game? Like how long can I just force myself to smile the entire game? And I had so much fun, just trying to be happy that it made me pitch good. Like I was forcing myself to smile, and then so by doing that, I was finding little things to be happy about, and that goes to when I was talking about the changeup development earlier. I was throwing right on right changes and 2-0 counts and stuff, and just silly pitches and just finding little enjoyment and stuff, and check swings and all the silly stuff that you don't really pay attention to, just trying to find little bits and pieces of joy in the game while still taking it seriously. But
Right.
like just remembering that it is a game.
Yeah.
This is a game. So, and I'm very blessed to be able to do it at the level I do, and frankly to be doing it for a living. But at the end of the day, it's still a game. Have fun.
Yeah. Okay, so now I'm going to ask you some of the biggest topics in all of college sports, and I want to know your opinion on them, okay?
All right.
Okay, so the first one is, what is your thoughts on NIL?
I love it. I love it. Um, I think it can be a little outdone sometimes. I think that the universities are smart for finding loopholes to get their athletes paid and stuff, but it is name, image, and likeness.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be like a $500,000 contract to come to this school. Like we're just going to give you $500,000. That's not using their name for I mean I guess to get them to the school, but you know that should be coming from they did all these branding stuff, they did all this work with this company and all these commercials for a local restaurant or something,
Yeah.
stuff like that. I totally love that. I love that idea, doing brand deals for the little guy, showing your support around the city and all that, and you can get paid to do it because they're using your name and your
Yeah.
image. I love that. I don't love the people are gonna disagree with me obviously because nobody can have the same opinion, but I think straight up paying guys and calling it NIL, I don't like that part.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, this next one, you have one of these. What is your thoughts on players having agents
In college or
in college and after?
so in college that would be an advisor.
Right.
um and I think they're important, because there are some big decisions that you get to make in college, and where you're going to go to school, and how it affects your future, and having somebody in your corner like that to be able to kind of guide you through stuff like that when they've been through with other guys. I think that's good to have, and then especially when you get to the professional level, that's somebody who can talk to the club for you.
Right.
You don't have to go straight to the club, or I haven't had to do this myself yet, but having somebody that can communicate with the club on your behalf, and they know what to say and who to talk to versus you constantly looking around who do I need to talk to. I think it's really important. I think it's super important, especially when it comes to we have our CBA and stuff, and
Yeah.
I know a good amount, but I don't know everything. It's his job to know everything, right? So if I'm
Right.
gonna have a question about it, I'm not gonna go to anybody else. I'm gonna go to him.
Okay, this next one, the biggest topic in all of college sports, the transfer portal.
What part? Just the whole thing in general?
Yeah, the whole thing in general.
So I think the transfer portal is good to an extent.
Okay.
I think I entered the transfer portal when I was going to leave UCI, but I end up actually using it because I went to a JUCO. Um, but for guys that use it to go from one school to the next and then they stay at that school, great, awesome. But guys who go from school to school to school to school. Like that's like there are guys that I know, like very good buddies of mine that went D1 JUCO back to D1.
Right.
Right? Love that. Great. But going from D1 to D1 to D1 to D1 when it's like completely your choice and like like there are guys who have like a really good year and then like after their freshman year they'll bounce. They'll go somewhere else. I'm a big loyalty guy. Like if
Yeah.
I'm wanting around like I would want to stick around. So I think that's kind of been lost a little bit with the transfer portal. But I mean, I'm out of college sports, so I can't really say it never really had an effect on me. But I can see how it affects a lot of these programs, especially the smaller schools, like the mid-major D1s that they
Yep.
don't have all this NIL that they can throw around at guys. So I love seeing the loyalty stories nowadays of like guys staying around because like you're a
Yeah.
dog there, like you're literally the face of the school. Like why would you want to leave? Like I get
Yeah.
bigger conferences, more money and stuff, but I love the loyalty component of the non-transfer portal. But at the same time, like there are guys like me who played terribly or didn't even play at all, which is what I did. And just like they need another opportunity or they want to go somewhere else. Like I don't blame them for that.
Okay, this next one. What is your thoughts on the extra year eligibility rule for JUCO guys? So if it's your senior year, there's a chance you get accepted or denied this extra year. What do you think of that? And how do you think this is going to affect the future?
I think it's great. And I think it's great because it's going to open up an opportunity for junior colleges everywhere.
Yeah.
Just you get that extra year of development in a collegiate setting with higher level coaches, higher level performance, and I think it just and plus at every JUCO in the nation, you're draft eligible at your
Yeah.
freshman year. So I think if anything, it just promoted a new light for a bunch of new junior college baseball players to go get another year of development, and then at the same time, like it's only going to make division ones division like all the 4 years, it's going to make them more competitive because now you're getting more developed guys come out of the gate and they still got 4 years. If they only did 1 year at JUCO, they got 4 years of eligibility to work with,
Yeah.
still. So I think that's sweet. And I honestly I don't know how you couldn't not like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe if you were like before like me, like you're before the rule happened and you're just like salty because it's happening now and you don't get to use it. Um, I think it's great. I think it's great for collegiate sports. I think it's great for all the sports that are affected by it because like that's a huge deal.
Yeah. Okay, this next one. What is your thoughts on the pitch clock?
I love it. Like I actually love it. I've always pitched pretty fast, so it hasn't
Okay.
really had an effect on me. I will say pitch clock to start the game is pretty brutal. I got a pitch clock called on me earlier this year against St. Lucie, and it was pretty funny because it was the first pitch of the game. Um, Automatic ball one, but I like it. I think it doesn't speed us up too much, or at least it doesn't speed me up too much. And it kind of like lets me time myself. And like if I'm getting into much of a rhythm, like and because I'm always looking at the clock. So if I got runners on and I'm getting into much of a rhythm because I like try to keep an eye on the clock.
Yeah.
Um, it kind of like lets me like okay, like let's bring this one down to like almost one, right?
Yeah.
So, like, let's mix up the timing a little bit, and then it's like an actual clock, so I'm not counting it in my head. Uh,
Exactly.
so I like it. I like it a lot because it adds another proponent to the game that kind of speeds it up. That'll make it more enjoyable for you know non-religious baseball fans, like you
Yeah.
know, and for the baseball fans that are still around, like I don't think it's really taken away from the history of the game. Like it's just
Yeah.
speeding us up a little bit. It's not like we're changing the mound
Yeah,
or
exactly.
we're not changing like the dimensions of the field. It's all we're doing is just like we're just moving a little quicker.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, this next one is a two-parter. Out of your
All right.
career, what season means the most to you? Out of your career, what coach means the most to you?
So out of my career, I think so far this year was the most important to me, just because of my TJ and stuff. So the way I like kind of pictured it, and like I have a whole tattoo on my arm that that tells that story of just like, I like to think of my post TJ career like a fresh start. Like it's a brand new career. Like everything I did pre TJ, like that's not who I am anymore. That's who I was.
Yeah.
And then so I guess like this year like was super important to me because I finished the year healthy. I've found out a lot about myself, and I think that's just like that's why I think it's the biggest one is because like this was the hardest year of my life, like physically. So I would say this year, and
Okay.
then
And oh no, go ahead. No, go
and then
ahead.
favorite coach, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely Coach Mike, who I mentioned earlier. He genuinely changed my life in the way of baseball. Like, it changed the way I thought about it, the way I went about everything. Like, it was like I genuinely would not be in the position that I'm in if it wasn't for him. So I owe him a lot, and he's still very much in my life and very impactful. He's got some phenomenal kids. One of them's at Wichita State. He's a 6'8" masher, like just a huge dude who just hits the ball really, really far. But like I'm very thankful for him and everything that he's done for me because he's always been there. So I would say that would be him. And then there's some others like I would say Jamie Moyer is another big one for me too.
Okay. Yep.
He's been a he's been a big proponent of my life. His son Mac, we all played together. So
Okay. Yep.
MJ, who's Mike's son, Mac, who's Jamie's son, like we all played travel ball together growing up. Um, so I would say Jamie's a big part of my life too, especially after the TJ. Like he was constantly checking in on me, making sure I was okay. Like because he had multiple, like just if I had any questions and I didn't want to talk to somebody specific about it, like that's been through it, he was always there, and he'll send me like a little Instagram DM out of nowhere some days, just like checking in on me. So that was a pretty big one for me. It was Jamie and Coach Mike.
Okay. Now the last one that I have for you, Jacob. What advice do you have for JUCO players, high school players, D1 players trying to make it to the next level like you have?
You gotta believe in yourself, and you gotta put in the work because nobody knows yourself like you do. And like I can tell you so many things, and I can tell you like this is exactly what I did. This is what I did from this day to this day to this day. And that worked for me, but it's not going to work for you, or at least not to the extent that it did for me. So I think learning how to find yourself, what works for you, how to be comfortable in your own body, and how to be confident is what's important to getting to the next level because everybody gets an opportunity, right? Everybody gets an opportunity, whether it's at the extent that some people do and some people don't. It's like you're going to get your opportunity whether you know it or not. Like there's always somebody watching, whether you believe it or not. There's always somebody watching, and I think that's the cool part about social media is like they've made it a lot easier to get out there and get your name out there. But at the end of the day, you got to work harder than everybody else in the room because like you could have God-given talents, but if you don't work hard and use those talents and let them grow and get stronger, learn how to be better, then you're wasting them. You know?
Yeah.
So I think my biggest proponent is just like, you know, be confident in yourself, be confident in who you want to be, have goals, set attainable goals. That's a big one. Is like and be okay with failure because you're gonna fail. We play baseball. Like this is like we're literally paid to fail. Or not me, like because I'm a pitcher, but like if you're a hitter, like you're literally being like praised for, hitting a baseball like 3 out of 10 times,
Yeah.
So I think the best way to look at it is like find the positives in the little things, be confident in yourself, and you know, trust yourself, trust God, and you just kind of got to go.
Okay, and then the last one that I have for you, Jacob, the decision that you made to take the JUCO route, did it change your life forever?
Yeah, yeah. I wouldn't be in this position if I didn't take the JUCO route. I have no idea where I would have gone or what I would have done. But yeah, I would definitely say it changed my life. I wouldn't have been eligible as a sophomore to get drafted. I wouldn't have met the people that I did. I wouldn't have been through the same things that helped me grow. Like it definitely changed my life for sure. And I recommend it.
All right, Jacob. Well, I really appreciate you for coming on tonight, man. It means a lot to me, and I wish you best of luck in 2026 and your career, man. Go ball out.
Appreciate it. Thank you, Aiden.
Most definitely, man.